When was the last time you visited Chicago's free zoo? No, yeah, really. Lincoln Park Zoo is free. From outings with family and friends to a picture-perfect day spot, Lincoln Park Zoo is budget-friendly and great for all with many things to do. Even better, Lincoln Park Zoo has one of the largest zoo-based conservation and science programs in the country, and they run the nation's top zoo-based animal welfare science program. So, your visit makes an impact. This summer, visit the pride of Chicago, Lincoln Park Zoo. Go to lpzoo.org to plan your next visit to Chicago's free zoo. What's up, y'all? Have you heard about the latest hit from the Second City? It's called The Devil is in the Detours, and it's being hailed as gutsy by the Tribune and another crackerjack cast of talented, charismatic performers, clearly creative and a joy to watch by the Sun-Times. That was very visual and descriptive. This is the Second City's 112th main stage review, and it's a hilarious and unhinged descent into a dimension where chaos reigns. The show runs Tuesdays through Sundays at the Second City in Old Town. Grab your tickets now at secondcity.com and go on and join the fun. Today on CityCast Chicago, between long and yes, I mean long DNC speeches, late night show tapings, and a ton of after parties across the city, you may find yourself outside after midnight on a school night this week. So the team has put together a little list of our favorite late night spots to grab some food and a quick drink. It's Wednesday, August 21st. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. I'm joined with our fantastic production team. Shout out to our executive producer, Simone Alisea. Simone, welcome back to the mic. It's been too long.
Too long. It's what, less than 24 hours, I think?
Less than 24 hours. And we got a double dip yesterday. Mm-hmm. We've also got our fantastic producer, Michelle Navarro, in the building. Michelle, what's up?
Hey, Jacoby.
I feel like the further we get into this DNC week, the more tired each of us looks, right? Simone and myself were down at the McCormick Place earlier this week. Michelle was out in front of Union Park and outside the United Center talking to protesters for hours. And that's not even really getting into all of the stuff that took place after the DNC, after the speeches were done. There have been media parties. I got the PR invites in my email. There have been delegation parties. There have been major events at the Salt Shed, at House of Blues, at Ramova Theater. Simone, in all of our coverage, how do we miss this? We've talked about what's going on before the DNC, sort of around the perimeter, inside of these buildings. But then we missed the late night part of this whole 4-day convention.
I got to be honest. I just assumed the Democrats weren't going to be that fun. I just that's straight up. I just didn't think. That this much sort of fun stuff was planned. And we talked about this yesterday, right? There has just been so much hype around this DNC after Harris won. Became the nominee, right? And I think that is spilling over now into all of the late night happenings in Chicago. I think you can hear it in our voices. just how late these things, especially since like all of the speeches at the United Center last on Monday night, they were running like an hour late. And so, as stuff runs late, the parties then go even later.
Yeah, I heard earlier this week there was a window to the Walls party for vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, and Lil Jon was in the building, obviously. Michelle, all of this sort of late night.
Obviously.
Michelle, all of these sort of late parties kind of got me wondering, like, are you somebody even outside of DNC week? Are you somebody who finds yourself burning the midnight oil out in these streets, looking for food, looking for something to do after the moon has come out?
Yeah, I would say I'm a night owl. We be outside, on the weekends, especially in the summer. I think once it gets summer is when I'm like, you know what, it's warm out, like why not? And so there has been a few times where I've kind of been hit with a challenge of like, okay, it's midnight, most of the late places in the city, like late is considered 11 p.m. And so it's kind of, it gets tricky to actually find some spots to find some food. And so that's kind of a thing that I think I run into a lot. And a lot of my friends do too. What about you, Jacoby?
I am somebody who sometimes during the week, I have found myself outside over at like Giant Penny Whistle on like a Wednesday at like 12:30 at night, putting down Reposado Old Fashions. I don't know why exactly I'm out there, but I follow the app Live Loop, which gives you like daily late night things to do in Chicago on Instagram. And so that's a place that sometimes I'll hit their story and just see a DJ that I know or something fun happening. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to pull up tonight. We don't make it happen often, but even if I'm at home, I'm up late watching TV on YouTube, kind of hanging around for a little bit. Simone, what about you? Are you somebody who typically sticks to a bedtime?
Yes, I have a bedtime. I am in bed before 11 every night. On the weekends, I might be up at midnight, but I'm home.
But you home.
Like, I'm not out normally.
On Friday, I don't even leave like if we decide to go out on Friday, I don't even leave the house until 10:30. Almost always our reservation for dinner is at like 10:30, 10:45 on like a Friday. And so then we have to do something right after that in some capacity. But I mean, earlier this week, your mom was in town for Colbert, right? You said the DNC speeches were running long. That kept you out a little bit past your preferred bedtime. What was that like?
A little bit, Jacoby. So here's what happened. Let me explain to you the experience. So yeah, my mother was in town. We went to go see The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Was taping at the Auditorium Theater, right across the street from Grant Park. And we managed to get tickets for Monday night. First of all, we lined up at 6:30. We finally got into the venue 8:30, 8:40-ish. So 2 hours in line. Then we're just watching the DNC, the CBS's live coverage of the DNC. So we're watching all the speeches, and the show won't tape until that's over. You know what I mean? Like the show is waiting for the DNC to be over. And as anyone who stayed up to watch President Biden's speech knows, that did not end. So the taping didn't start until midnight.
Damn.
Which was already past my bedtime.
So 6 hours in, and that's when things started.
6 hours in, and it starts. So I didn't get home until right around 2 a.m. Right before 2 a.m. I got home on Tuesday morning. I was super hungry, and I had no idea where to go or what to do. And I was like, really wish I had my friends Jacoby and Michelle, somebody to help me out right now, because it was rough.
Well, that's why you got us in your life, Simone. And today we're going to talk about some of our favorite places that are open late, whether it's something to eat, maybe a place to grab a quick drink, or maybe the thing I'm always looking for is something that isn't just food or drink late. Like, what if I want to also do a little bit of an activity while I'm out, go dance and do some karaoke. And so we're going to go through a few of those places for you, Simone. Michelle, let's start with you. If you thinking late night and you want to get a decent meal, you want to get a good drink, right? I'm not saying like a pizza puff or a bag of grease ain't good. It's just maybe if you want more options late at night, what's a place that you like to go to?
So I discovered this place recently thanks to my cousins who put me on, but it's called Alinea Sushi and Karaoke Lounge in Bridgeport. It's on Archer, right off Ashland. It is from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. daily. The sushi is so good. And like you were just talking about, like, of course it's easy to find like a grease trap, something quick and good, but like, sushi is just like, it just hits different. It's a little bougie, and the prices here are super fair. They also have $1 oysters, $5 toro. Like one time we went in and the owner gave us a taste to taste the bluefin tuna. Even on their Instagram, they'll post like when they get shipments, like, yeah, just got this bluefin tuna last night, and he like be taking a picture out in the O'Hare parking lot, which I think is really cool and just like shows how dedicated they are to show you how fresh the food is. It's perfect for a late night. It's also a karaoke lounge, right? So they have TVs everywhere for people to like sing as well. And so it's a really cute space, great for a date night, but also like great for just like any late night with your friends.
Well, Simone, I know you love karaoke, and one place up in Irving Park that has karaoke extremely late, all the way till 4 a.m. every single day, is Sidekicks. And so if you are looking for something late to do, that's a good place. If you were leaving the auditorium last night and heading over to get sushi, that would have only taken you 14 minutes and a quick Uber.
I was just thinking that, like, Bridgeport is like, that's a good rec for this week in particular, since there's so much going on at McCormick Place, so much going on downtown. Real short trip. Although I will say, I got out of the theater at after 1. You know what I mean?
After 1.
So
you might have been able to make it. Yeah, you might have been able to make it.
I could maybe place an order ahead of time, maybe, and I could have picked it up. That we could have swung it, maybe.
Luckily, the ride from Auditorium all the way back up to your house has probably Chicago's best 24-hour diners, like within distance from the Auditorium. If you're thinking like Golden Nugget, if you're thinking Golden Apple. So I didn't want to stray too far from Michelle's pick. I'm staying in Bridgeport with Shinya Ramen House, which is open until 1:30 a.m. And I actually had this last night, and I was up late, not only because I'm a little bit of a night owl, but the police presence in the city, we can't stress. We're going to talk about it every single day whenever I can. It is massive right now, and I'm right off the Roosevelt red, green, and orange line, which always has police with dogs, which always has SUVs parked in the middle of the street right up under the red line. But last night something was going on, and about police on foot, police on bikes, 30 police cars going through, kept me up. And so I needed something to eat. And so I just went on Uber Eats, and Shinya Ramen House was a great place. I don't actually go in person because it is known for as a late night option. And so you sometimes have a lot of students in there. We got school starting back up. A bunch of university students might be over there. And so it didn't take too long. I usually get something very simple like the grilled chicken ramen. The chicken broth was very good. I always get extra noodles so I can just slurp down the rest of my broth with another thing of noodles. And so that's a good option as well. Again, you might not have made it on Tuesday, but if you find yourself for any other reason out in these streets after 12 o'clock, that's a staple you can almost always bet on.
Yeah, there are a few sort of north side spots, but it's tough because for me, it's one of those things where it's like, for example, there's a Primo Chuki's on Lawrence, very close to me, sort of between Uptown Ravenswood. I mean, they're only open till midnight, so they're not even like truly late night.
Yeah.
And I've had their tacos during the day, and they're pretty good. And so I have to imagine the quality carries over, for the rest of the night as well. But even the Golden Nugget over in Ravenswood on Lawrence is only open till 9 p.m. And so I know the one in Avondale is 24 hours, but it's tough.
Now, I can't imagine what goes into like setting a schedule, but there are some places that will be open till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., but then it's only on the weekend or on like Thursday. I'm thinking like Bar Sienna over in West Loop. That's a place that is on Saturday, Friday, and Thursday, 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. But during the week, it's only open until 11:30 p.m. And so for that weekend crowd, they got your back. Another great place I like, their kitchen typically doesn't close until about 1 a.m. We've talked about it on the show before, is Warlord over in Avondale. No reservations. You're not going to find their menu on their website. But it is a place that I've gone on like a Friday, like later at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. And I didn't find the wait too bad. And in some of the reviews that I've read, people suggest like if you don't really care about when you go, that Monday, 1 a.m., 12:30 is usually a much easier ticket to get. Back to school often means going back to the doctor's office, and there are many types of appointments that are essential to your child's well-being. And if you have a student that is starting, let's say, the second grade, like my niece, then they are most likely due for their first orthodontic visit. Now, often it can be very stressful trying to find the proper time, funds, and doctors for the various appointments. For orthodontia, Orthodontic Experts is where the best value, quality, and accessibility align. They provide exceptional orthodontic care with various options, including traditional metal, gold, ceramic, and lingual braces and clear aligners. They also accept most major insurances and even create personal payment plans. Furthermore, they provide evening and weekend availability that will easily fit into your busy back to school schedule. And the best part is that they are always located conveniently near you. So why wonder? Find out if orthodontic treatment is right for your child now with a no-cost consultation.
These are great because what I love about the spots that we talked about is, for the most part, these are spots where you can like sit down and have a really decent meal. But let's just say I want to like grab something real quick. You guys got any picks there?
So my pick is still gonna be in Bridgeport, still staying in Bridgeport, and
Is Bridgeport actually secretly the late night capital of Chicago, guys? I feel like this is what I'm learning.
I mean, between Bridgeport and Chinatown
and Pilsen, like that whole little area.
Yeah, I'm like, if you take that whole between Pilsen, Bridgeport, and Chinatown, you are looking at some good late night options. I mean,
they're gonna unseat the Logan Wicker Avondale corridor there.
That's not a fight that I'm willing to wage. I do think that we probably need to do that sort of block battle. But I mean, hey, West Loop, River North probably gonna come in there and say we got something to say. And so, I mean, a lot of my picks are in Chinatown too. I've talked about Chi Cafe probably 1,000 times, so I didn't need to mention that one.
Anyway, Michelle, what was the spot you wanted to highlight?
Rico Benny's in Bridgeport. On weekdays, they close at around midnight, 12:30, I believe. But on weekends, 2 a.m. So that's pretty late. You can get yourself a quick slice of pizza, which is usually my go-to, or one of their like really well-known breaded sandwiches. Their menu is huge, so you can really get anything on a sandwich there. But yeah, if you want like a quick slice or a sandwich, I think that's such a just classic spot, big parking lot, chill, super casual dining. What about you, Jacoby?
Hey, man, I'm going to take you to the south side for these. Not too far again from where you were just at. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp is 24 hours in Chinatown. And a quick breaded shrimp or quick fried shrimp, catfish nugget, something like that, you can't go wrong. The breading is very particular. You're not going to find it anywhere else that tastes quite like theirs. And that's a good late night option. But then if you are further south, somewhere like Stony Sub in Avalon Park, which is right on Stony Island, they're 24 hours. People are always in there. Good place to grab a quick hoagie. And then y'all know, I love Baba's. And depending on which Southside location you get, they might be open till 11:30. They might be open till 2 a.m. That's the place where I'm probably going to grab like maybe a steak nacho if I'm feeling it, maybe a chicken gyro on pita that you can make your own. They put a little slice of American cheese on it, give you a bunch of onions, a bunch of tzatziki, some lettuce, fries with a cheese cup, and then I'm always going to get like a grape watermelon frozen lemonade, and I'm getting brain freeze every single time. I've been drinking them for 15 years, and I still don't know how to slow down.
One other spot I have been to late at night when I have been super hungry is a spot called Chicago's Pizza on Montrose. I don't know if I recommend it. I don't know if it's good. But you can find a slice of pizza, just like a regular kind of almost a New York style slice on the cheap, late night. It will feed you. It will be mostly warm. And so, that is one more option over in Ravenswood on Montrose. Jacoby, you mentioned Sidekicks, which was a 4 a.m. karaoke bar. I was so sad to learn that the one 4 a.m. karaoke bar that I have frequented over in Bowmanville, Hidden Cove, is actually going to be closing in the fall. So on the off chance that I'm out and I'm awake and I have some energy, this is real slim chances, guys. Or this is a real true hypothetical here. On the off chance I wanted to go out and do something besides eat and drink, where should I go?
Well, if we thinking like in that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for example, a place not too far from you that I have enjoyed is Les Nocturnes. It is a dance club. It's another place that if you're on Live Loop, the app, you might be able to, they might promote one of their events that are going on. Usually known for like Afro-Caribbean vibes. The drinks are
it's
really
like really
good.
close to Green Mill. It's
right next door to the Green Mill, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like one storefront away, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the Green Mill is open until 1 a.m. every single day. But the fact that you could leave the Green Mill and go right into Les Nocturnes and get a completely different vibe different music. If you do want to go out, and, maybe just have fun. Like, I think Chicago's arcade bars are a good opportunity to get a good drink and to play. I grew up in Chicago skating rinks, and so I grew up playing arcade games every single week or every single weekend in some capacity. And so the nostalgia of going to like an Emporium, for example, there are multiple locations. I think West Loop, Logan, maybe West or like the Wicker West Town area. And that typically closes 2 a.m. even on weekdays, 3 a.m. on Saturday. And then one I got from Chicago Reddit, which I wasn't really familiar with, but it's in the same vein as an Emporium or like a Lincoln Park Replay, which is another spot you can go and play arcade games. It's called Galloping Ghosts out in Brookfield. And apparently it's the largest video game experience with close to 900 arcade games available to be played. Closes at midnight through most of the week, and then on Friday and Saturday it's 2 a.m. Pay $25, and then every game in there is free. And so I am always looking for more late night options. I know we got like some late night improv over at like Second City. Sometimes IO has later shows. But if people are out there listening and they know where I can go, like bowling late night, is there like a late night go-karting, a late night mini golf course in Chicago?
And I'm looking for true late night, post midnight. You know what I mean? Like
not close at midnight.
Not close at midnight. Preferably not close at 2, like true late night stuff.
I feel like we're gonna need a whole nother episode for like late night dives and things like that. Your Old Town Ales open till 4 a.m., 5 a.m., your Jeffrey's pubs. But I think we've got a pretty good guy here. But if you are listening and you didn't hear your spot, or you've got a suggestion you want us to add to the list, please hit us up at 773-780-0246. For more DNC coverage, make sure you subscribe to our daily newsletter, Hey Chicago, where we're not only giving you that, but so much more every morning in your inbox for the free. I want to give another huge thank you to our super producers, executive producer Simone Alexea. Hopefully this helped.
Hey, thanks, Jacoby. I appreciate it.
And my fellow night owl / homebody, Michelle Navarro. Always a pleasure, my friend. I salute you.
Likewise, Jacoby.
Some good news. This Saturday, head over to North Lawndale for the 17th annual Firehouse Block Party for Peace. They're going to have dozens of Chicago artists and DJs out there. The headliner is Big Crit, and it's free to the public from noon to 10 p.m. For more info, check the link in our show notes. As always, we appreciate you for listening and reading. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace.
When my friends are out and they want to like keep it going, like the spots that they like will bring up that are late is usually like the Owl or like Blue Light.
The Owl in Logan Square is I have never smelled so much desperation in one
Jesus Christ.
location.
Yeah, dude.
Is how I would describe the Owl. It was an experience.
It's like when you don't want to give up on a night. It's like you're not letting it go.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? That's like there's a lot of hits and misses
Exactly.
that happened earlier in the night, and that's how you ended up at the Owl. Like that.
The one time I ended up there,
Oof,
like that's what
oof.
it was. And then after that I vowed that you would not see me